All right. So earlier today, we were on this website and we had a chance to just kind of look at those two documents right there. Now, those were probably some good information for you, and they might be a nice starting place. I think this website is a great place to kind of get some information to get started with our research. And so once we've brainstormed for research, we got to start answering those questions that we've come up with. We got to start finding information. So there's some facts and figures here. There's even some links to some different websites that might be a good place to start looking at. And if you scroll down more here, we've got COVID-19 response information. We've got more news related to this global goal and lots of other stuff that I could probably find even just on this website. But I'm probably going to want to dig deeper in some research. And I want to go a different route than just Googling something. I know you can do that, and that might work for some of us, but we want to find stuff that we're probably not going to find on Google. We can really only find with our school account. So once you've got this brainstorming for research document done, you want to start checking out these research databases. And this will take you to a document that everyone at Edina Public Schools has access to. There's a lot on here, but we're just going to be concerned with the research databases, the second row here. There's three of them that I think will be helpful just to maybe start looking for some different kind of information. So I'm going to show you those as quickly as I can here today. And one thing you should know about research is it's kind of messy. You're not always going to find everything you're looking for with just a quick search, and you're going to have to do a little bit of work to figure out what's good stuff, and you'll have to do some reading to see, hey, is there anything worthwhile here? So I'm just going to look up this topic of hunger here. On this first one, it's called Gale in Context. And you can see I've got lots of results here. So I got some audio, some biographies, some images, videos. I'm probably going to want to look more at like the magazines, news, maybe even some primary sources as I do some research here. And you can see you can filter your results on this site. This is important. You could go to full level documents. That's going to be helpful. So I'm finding things that have the full text, and you could narrow it down a little bit further. But notice I've got lots and lots of results here. So I want to just kind of look, oh, food waste. That seems interesting. World hunger. That might be helpful. Lots of different kind of reference things here. We've got biographies. We've got images, videos, audio, and here's kind of some things I might really start to look at reading. Magazines and news, right? Of course, with a basic search like hunger, I'm going to get things like the Hunger Games. That's what I mean. It's going to be a little bit messy. You're not going to quite find everything you need maybe with just a one word search. So as you think about the questions as you're asking for research and what you really want to find, you might want to try to narrow down your searches a little bit with some different words. So there's a lot of news. I might want to kind of narrow my search before I really start searching this. And I'm going to do that in just a second. I want to show you these other two sites as well, though. Explora is another one. And I'm just looking for stuff on hunger just to get started. I've got online full text turned on. Okay, I've got famines. Interesting. A meal program here. That seems like it might be relevant. The fight to put food on the table. It's an article addresses COVID-19. That seems interesting. And I'm just going to want to maybe check things out. Maybe I'm going to find something that's going to answer all my questions, but more than likely, I'm going to find something that's interesting that might even lead me to more questions. Hunger is a Russian weapon. That seems pretty relevant too. Wow. Interfacing pain and hunger. So that's just with the search of hunger. I'm going to narrow this down in just a second for you. That was my Explora site. And ProQuest is another one. This is really specifically for a lot of news, but you can find some other stuff here as well. I'm just going to type in hunger on this one and notice that I get lots and lots of results, but I can narrow it down by full text. And on each of these sites, you can probably narrow it down a little bit further. I just want to include magazines and newspapers, and let's just see what comes up there. Probably still a lot of results. Usually you can narrow it down with something a little bit more recent. Maybe I just want to go the last 5 years over here. Taking a bite out of hunger. Okay, that seems interesting. Residents facing hunger. So there's a lot of newspaper articles that involve this topic. Here's one. This one involves the UN as well. MOA's walk to end hunger. That might be something interesting to check out. Biden plans a September summit on hunger, ending hunger by 2030. That might be interesting. Wow. I'm looking up the whole article here. And again, I want to read a little bit just to find out what I can. Maybe I'm finding some quotes. Maybe I'm finding some facts and figures. Maybe I'm finding some answers to my questions. Or maybe I'm just finding out more information that's going to lead me to more questions. So, just a couple examples there, just with the word hunger. Now, as I was searching or as I was reading about this topic on that website, I came across some things that I was just kind of learning about. And I learned about globally 149.2 million children under age 5 were suffering from stunting. And I thought, well, that seems a little bit more specific. That seems interesting. I don't quite know. It says low height for their age. Maybe I want to start looking at something a little bit more specific as I look at some of these websites. So I could go not just hunger, but maybe I want to be a little bit more specific. Hunger stunting. Not a happy topic, of course, but as I look here, I'm finding maybe some more specific stuff here. Children in hunger from Junior Scholastic. And maybe it's just narrowing things down a little bit. These are all things that might be worth reading, seems like. If I go back to some of these other websites, I'm just going to add this term. Here's something that has stunting in it. Here's something about the country of Lesotho. Africa must engage strategies to end hunger. Low birth weight and stunting in early findings from a longitudinal study. So this is like probably not written for seventh graders, but it might be something worth checking out. And again, I want to see that I have full text. So I'm finding some interesting things here that might help me narrow my search down a little bit. Again, it's going to be messy. You're going to find a lot out there. And it's just kind of a matter of finding the right things to answer your questions, to learn a little bit more. Look, all these seem very interesting and pretty relevant to my topic. And it's just a really different way to find some really quality information. Because if I go to Google, I'm probably not going to find all this stuff that is available on these databases. I'm going to hit paywalls and I'm going to hit things that aren't going to let me read things. But with all this that we've provided you here in Edina, you should be using these research webs or these research databases. So I think that's kind of the goal, is to get to that place today after you've finished this brainstorming for research document or feel like you've got a good handle on it. Again, research databases is a good place to kind of get started here, to kind of get some specific information or just to really find out more information. Your goal is to become an expert on your topic right now. Okay, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. See me if you have more questions.